Well, now that I've completely lost my sanity, at least I have my internet friends, right? I'm at an abandoned campground, or it's off season, and I'm trying to find a place to sit. I think over here. Okay, this seems as good as any. The lighting's a little intense, bear with me. It's November 15th, 68 degrees at Lake Weddington in Fayetteville, Arkansas, just west, about 25 minutes outside of city center. And I got some pad thai, which I just mowed down and brought it out here in a styrofoam plastic container, because that's how we live in the modern world. I am almost 33 years old in the 21st century in a top-rated city to live in the United States, and I am blessed, as in I am not one of the 700 million who are famished and a billion more who are actually malnourished and or have no shoes. So my biggest problem is finding a suitable surface to sleep on. That's literally my biggest problem. It's not how to feed myself or clothe myself, but it's exactly what many have warned about has come of discomfort. Is as a result of discomfort is new values and social relationships. But I want to back up a little bit and talk. So I'm grateful. I want to talk real quick about Rupert Reed's analysis. Dale, I think you posted on my last video, was so on point. It was so correct. It stung. It was just like, he even felt like existential, and Paul just like was staring at him, was like what? When he was like, what's the point of even having these? It makes you beg the question, like, is this process, 26 of these is wrong. It's like a 26-year-old man who's like still not doing his promises. He's a fuck up by that point. You're a fuck up. I don't know. Nowadays, you got to get your act together real quick, or you're sleeping on your family's, your cousin's couch, dude. So, yeah, like I said, put a gun. We're driving ourselves to war. That's the way it'll get resolved. The Uninhabitable Earth kind of touched on this briefly. Like, it'll drive to a point where, to resolve it, we need international conflict to force people's hand, because you can't force India or China, an entity, you can't force that. I just thought that was so, and they were all looking dashing. None of them watch this channel, but Jennifer, or whoever her name is, not Jennifer, on the climate emergency forum, she talks with, also Peter Carter's analysis was spot on too. Like, he was getting into it. It was like, this is a failure. This is a failure. His like voice was raising. It was like, oh shit, this is intense. And he's like, I'm sorry for getting like worked up, but he was on point. And like I said, Paul and that girl and Rupert, all of them were looking just top notch. They were looking like aficionados, at the end of the fucking world. Like, this is the video I want to see of the people that are talking, that make some goddamn sense in this mess. And they look awesome, and they're talking clear, and it's like, damn, this is how it's going down. And Cairo is going to be a mess. Egypt is going to be a disaster. Just saying. So, I also wanted to touch on, in the doomosphere, some shit I've been hearing lately. I just watched one of Sam Mitchell's latest videos, and I do have very indifferent, mixed feelings about him, but they're getting worse by like the month, by the year. I can barely stand to listen to him for 5 minutes. He's talking shit about, still talking shit. All these old farts, dude. Why are you still talking shit? What the fuck is wrong with you? You've had the best fucking life possible. Not possible, but you have so much fucking privilege. Why are you talking shit? Just focus on your own shit. Focus on your own quality of your videos. That's what I do. I pour all the thing Bruce Lee prescribed. He was a martial artist. He was a philosopher. He says, take all the negative energy and use it to better yourself, to better your quality, your relationships, so on and so forth. And guy was talking about Michael Mann and this latest cop summary. It's getting really bright. I might move this around. And he's like, yeah, that like Mr. Man who flies around and, you know, can't preach his own message. Fuck him. Dude, fuck him. Honestly. And getting back to Sam was like, he was reading this article and they interview a couple, you know, people in the collapsologist Doomosphere field, and he's like, well, whose name we shall not mention is a goddamn moron. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. Who cares? He's someone else. This is you. Find your own peace. You know? Find your own peace. I don't know how else to say that to you old fucks. It's annoying. You devote your energy to more compelling information. And so that's when I want to touch on my last thing. It reminds me, I'm glad we got through that. I'm glad I addressed that. Y'all need to like shell out this anger and the resentment I have towards the establishment, as you have as well. But, you know, other people are just wackos. You can make your own fucking reality. You, literally the way your experiences shape you, and they determine your like time zone. You could be in this time zone, but you could actually be in a different time zone in your fucking mind. Like the way you perceive seconds and minutes is all dependent on like, I don't want to get into it. What do I know, right? Who am I? Is superiority illusory? Before I get into that, I want to address Louis Rossmann. He's another YouTuber. I'm going to rant on him for 2 seconds. Like, he's another one that needs to shut the fuck up. Like, has this business, I started it from $200, and he's always talking about, he has some good stuff, like a commentary about the economy and like what's going on and inequality. I like that part, but I don't like when he gets his like, and he doesn't really know the fucking true brevity of what's happening. Hello, Louis Rossmann, do you know that all the United Nations met this past 2 weeks? Do you know that all of the world's governments just met? Literally all the world leaders to negotiate the future of you, your business, New York City, the entire country, the entire human race? And yet you're going on about like, oh, people need to like get jobs and go somewhere. No, motherfucker, they need to go to the White House. They need to go en masse protest is what people need to do. Dude, go look up the IPCC with that smart like repair brain. I know this is very tongue-in-cheek and annoying, but like it's annoying the shit out of me. Like, what is actually going on behind the curtains is we have 414 parts per million of CO2 in the atmosphere. Do you know, Louis Rossmann, what that means for everything that you fucking have? Everything you're talking about. He's, you know, they're so out of touch. People who are like successful are so out of touch. I'm successful. That's not even true. That's not even a true statement. So let me touch on one last thing I've been running into. I ran into this with 2 people in my life, actually more like 3. But it's superiority illusory superiority. Okay, it's in a field of social psychology. Illusory superiority is a condition of cognitive bias wherein a person overestimates their qualities and abilities in relation to the same qualities and abilities of other people. It was first used by researchers Van Puren and Bunk in 1991. And why I'm bringing this up is these fools, like this young guy I was talking to, warning him of what's to come. And he's like, "Oh, I'm optimistic. You know, I think we'll figure it." He's a Jordan Peterson fucking twink. Like he follows that shit. It's like, yeah, I went through the Jordan Peterson phase too. Like a whole like ocean and meaning and responsibility. 10 rules for life, 12 rules for life, whatever. Like it's good. It's fine. But it's not really addressing the matter at hand, which is habitat loss and the coextinction that leads to the extinction of the human race. Okay? And so, of course, you know, this person's young. I was young when I experienced the same thing, thinking that I know more than I know. No, you don't really know this. They know more. They think they know more about the subject matter, even though they spent almost 0 time researching about it. No peer-reviewed literature, nothing. And they can think with some cognitive bias that they know more about it than you do. And everything's going to be fine, when in fact, a fucking freight train going high speed is off the rails right now. As we speak, we are in the process of collapse. Yeah, it's really annoying. But then, you know, like this, you know, it's a delusion. This is a delusion. Playing pool, anything you do it feels like a delusion. But if you're having fun, then it's never time wasted, right? It's never time wasted. Everything feels like a waste now. I'm so black-pilled. I'm so fucking black-pilled from the establishment, from this economy, which is destroying our life support systems, from the inequality. Like, I would just set up a site right here, and I need to buy like a camper or something. Go live out in the country. I'm going to head to a smaller town, most likely. It took me 25 minutes, 6 lights, with like light to moderate traffic, just to get out here, just to get to some sense of kind of peace. I still hear some cars in the distance. At least have somewhere to come out to and scream. I couldn't do this in Dallas. I could not do this. I know this is kind of like a vulgar video, but you know, my fill meter has been full. I am genuinely sick of public trash shit talking. Even though I do that, I try to do it more towards like inanimate objects, which is kind of stupid, but it's more comedic and fun. I don't mean to be like overtly malicious. It just seems like a waste of energy, right? You can't live in that shit. You can't live in that. Maybe you got health problems, huh? Maybe maybe it's as a manifestation of the pent up shit you're carrying around sometimes. That happens. I'm a firm believer that emotional well-being inflicts physical ailment. I know that firsthand. So what can I say? Time spent with friends, enjoying those that you love. Overall, I think it's important to take a step back and realize that I am the man standing in the field. I am the man sitting in the park. This is me. Okay, no more, no less. Thanks so much. Say what one more time. I'll talk to you guys next week.